Season 3, Episode 5. Can't wait for it because we're going to get into the Blue Jays here. First of all, boys.
Whoa. First of all, we have to do NHL talk. Just 2 seconds. Nashville beat San Jose twice. Okay, we're done.
In Prague.
Okay.
Yeah, in Prague. In the European season opener. Congratulations to Nashville. No one's surprised. Anyway, moving on. We have 2 things to talk about today.
Okay.
Two things.
Before we get into it, Justin, chill. It's a holiday weekend. Happy Thanksgiving to the both of you. I love you both. I'm thankful for you both.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Bud.
In a holiday that celebrates colonialism.
Okay.
I'm happy for you.
I have 2 things we all have 2 things that we need to talk about. The
100%.
Toronto Blue Jays, this is what this episode is. Just to let anyone know, if they don't want to listen, don't listen.
It's Toronto Blue Jays, Daniel Nkonkomalimba.
Nope. I got one other thing. Toronto Blue Jays and how bad the Denver Broncos are.
Yeah. Russ is washed.
Both of Taylor's things. So, okay, let's start in on number 1. The Toronto Blue Jays. Okay, to give a little context, Robbie Ray, who used to pitch for Toronto, won a Cy Young last year in Toronto, gave up 2 home runs to Teoscar Hernandez in the 2nd and 4th inning, I'm pretty sure, or 3rd inning. And the Blue Jays were seemingly up 4-0, and then they gave up 1 run, and then we scored 4 more runs in the bottom of the 5th or the bottom of the 4th, whichever one it was. We took an 8-1 lead. Kevin Gausman exits the game in the 6th. He does an outstanding job. He gets the team to what seems like an easy victory that we then will be playing game 3 in about an hour's time today. Instead, we go on to give them 4 runs in the bottom of the 6th, or the top of the 6th. Game is now 8-5. Who cares? Then we get 1 more run. 4-run lead. What could go wrong? Well, let's just say George Springer and Bo Bichette in the bottom of the 8th inning. Oh, wait. First of all, we have to mention that every single pitcher in the bullpen suck so bad, except for Jordan Romano, who should have got out in the 8th inning, but Bo Bichette decided he was going to make the play of the game when it was really George Springer's ball, and everyone knows this. George Springer had full right to get that ball, and it even showed that by the speed that he was going and the speed that he needed to cover, he was going to cover it by 2 feet. So
You were close to the ball though whenever it came to it.
No, they showed on the graphic if he would have fully tilted, but he had let off because of Bo Bichette. So it's now 9-9. We give up 4 runs because of that. Jordan Romano finally gets out of the inning. That's your closer, by the way. We're in the top of the 8th, and the closer comes in. We get to the bottom of the 8th. There's a questionable strike call on Alejandro Kirk, which eventually leads to a strikeout. We had a runner in scoring position. Did not happen. Left him on 3rd base to end the 8th inning. Go to the top of the 9th, and Adam Simber comes in, and actually Jordan Romano gave up 2 more hits.
He was over 30 pitches.
He was over 30 pitches. They gave up 2 more hits in the top of the 9th. They score a winning run, take the game lead, 10-9. We go to the bottom of the 9th, and the batters just couldn't do anything.
Not to mention Game 1 got swept 4-0 against the Seattle Mariners.
We're not even talking about Game 1. Game 1 doesn't matter. Game 2 is all that matters. Game 2 is all that matters because you're up 8-1.
I'm with you.
8-1.
But in a 3-game series, you got to win that first one. Well, that is a tone setter. That's a tone setter.
Alek Manoah, just the pressure got to him.
Yeah.
So much pressure in those tires.
Yeah.
But giving up a 7-run differential, just blowing that lead.
There's only been 2 other teams in the history of the MLB to do that, come back.
Yeah.
From a 7-run deficit in the playoffs.
Do you know who they were?
The 1929 or Oakland A's.
We're going back. We're going back.
And the 2008 Boston Red Sox.
We all know how that one turned out. Anyway, Mariners on top because Cardinals are out. And I called them as a sleeper, but they got swept too by Philly. So
I think the city of Toronto's cursed. Like, I don't understand how. I don't understand how the Raptors won a title. Like, that city is cursed.
Yeah.
It's cursed. Like,
I hate sports.
Taylor, I gotta get your input on this, man. You've just been putting your hands over your face.
8-1 is worse than 4-1. Let's just say that. This is the biggest loss or worst loss in Toronto sports history. Like, I don't even care about the Leafs. Like, they haven't done this. Like,
Taylor, you were so. Go ahead.
It was hard to watch. I was working the Islanders game last night, so I had the Jays game on my phone the entire game, and I could have sworn the Islanders could have got beat 20-0, and I wouldn't have cared. I wouldn't even looked up from my phone. I was just focused on what the Jays were doing, and it was I don't think I've witnessed such a collapse. Like, I thought this team was much better. Like, I thought they had more pieces than the 2015-16 Jays when Nkonkomalimba and Batiste were playing. But
and Donaldson,
yeah. But they made it to the ALCS. And you got a 2-game series, Rogers Center, first playoff baseball you've had in two years, the Rogers Center. Since 2016. Because they made the wild card during that expanded year, but they were in Tampa. So first time since 2016, you got playoff baseball in Toronto, and you gave nothing for the fans to cheer about in Game 1. It goes to show how important a trade deadline is. You acquire Luis Castillo if you're the Mariners. You start him in Game 1, and he goes 7+, and you get shut out. Your bats don't touch anything. Go on to Game 2. I was confident because I knew Kevin Gausman coming from San Francisco, and he has a couple different playoff experiences there. He's a big-time pitcher. He's seasoned. Manoah played good. The way I see it is it was the biggest moment in his young career so far, and he had never had that environment. He had never had that kind of pressure, and I think it wasn't necessarily that he got overwhelmed. I think he was trying to do too much at the start of Game 1 there. If you listen to the commentary, they were saying that his leg was landing too quick and it was causing his arm to drag and he was missing his spots because he hit the first batter he faced.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he was just trying to do too much. He tried too hard. He was trying to be the guy. Yeah. And then, like I said, Game 2, Kevin Gausman, I had so much confidence in him and he did his job.
He did his job. There is nothing Kevin Gausman could have done. You leave a game 8-1.
Yeah. Whether it was a premature move by Schneider taking him out when he did, but you're a country's team. They're the only baseball team in Canada. You had a whole country plus who knows who in the States behind you. Who knows who around the world. There was people watching from Europe. Tim and friends were tweeting out. And you can't do those things. You just can't. You have an 8-1 lead. You cannot blow that and lose 10-9. It was heartbreaking to watch, painful to watch. I haven't been that upset with sports in a very long time. It's been a very rough week for Taylor's teams.
I'm not gonna lie. In the bottom of the top of the 6, when they got a couple of batters on, and then they scored one more run. It was, what was it, 8-2 at that point. I was like, they might blow this.
It was as soon as it became 8-5, you thought that because they were up 8-1 and all of a sudden
it's
8-5.
At 8-2, I thought this.
Well, the bullpen came in, and any good pitcher they had throughout the season, Tim Mesa was one of their go-to guys. Adam Simber was one of their go-to guys. Anthony Bass, after he got traded, was one of their go-to guys. Anybody they made a move for, or anybody that was a go-to guy, it seemed like the playoffs hit a switch in them, and it was like, okay, we're gonna go from being a go-to guy to being the absolute garbage. Like we can't strike anybody out, we can't get an out. We lose we lose a 7-run differential, and like
Bass came in the top of the 8th.
didn't get an out. The first two runners
didn't get a note. He literally his 3 hitters, his 3 batters were all hits, and then he got pulled from Romano.
Well, he had 2 guys go on, and then they brought Romano in for a 6-out save, and then Romano's first guy got on to load the bases, and then Romano got charged with 1 earned run that in, and Bass got charged with the first 2. And like Anthony Bass was the guy, like he was the name that was at the trade deadline. It was Webb Merrifield for fielding and like all that stuff. And then it was Anthony Bass. Anthony Bass was the name. We knew all along we needed bullpen help. We knew all along we needed pitchers. And the guy that Ross Atkins went out and got was Anthony Bass. And you're telling me that the guy that's supposed to be the headline of your trade deadline, I like Anthony Bass, but the guy who's supposed to be the headline deal of your trade deadline is a guy you bring in a must-win elimination game and doesn't record an out. Puts 2 people on.
Okay, so here's the last thing I'll say about the Blue Jays, because as you know from last week, I'm the new statistician here. So I was working the door at John Brown's, and we had the game on, the 4 different screens there, and every table was filled with people watching the game. Everyone who was there for the Blue Jays, except for like maybe 2 tables who didn't know what baseball was. And as soon as that 9th inning ended, everyone left. We were dead quiet for an hour because nobody wanted to be out. And then an hour later, we were at capacity. It's hilarious to see, because I know that's the same thing out west. I know that's the same thing in the prairies. That's the same thing in Toronto. Everyone was disappointed to see this. And I think it speaks volumes to the Toronto Blue Jays.
How 45,000 people at the game.
Yeah, they're so excited to see it, and then you're just incredibly disappointed. Come on,
like I don't understand how Leafs fans do this.
Yeah, it's because the Leafs wished them good luck on Twitter. They said good luck to our fellas down the street, and they lost. It's all Leafs' fault. Screw Toronto.
Toronto Maple Leafs have been playing hockey 2 times as long, maybe even 3 times as long as Blue Jays have been playing baseball. All right,
it's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. As long as baseball has been in Toronto, I don't think they've won a cup. Is that right?
Probably.
Last cup was 67, and 67. The Jays came in the 70s, 80s.
70s or 80s.
Yeah.
They won the World Series in the 90s.
92, 93.
Mm-hmm.
That series is
the good old days.
That town has seen 2 championships since color TV.
No, they've seen 1, 2, 3.
FC.
3.
Raptors and Toronto FC.
Toronto
FC.
Okay. Who cares about MLS?
Yeah, really though.
Premier players.
Exactly. It's
But,
and one more thing I gotta say about this is you look back on the trade deadline, and I hate being the guy who blames the front office, because anytime your team goes out, but someone has to take the blame here. And it's got to be the fact that they wouldn't sell anything. You had me quoting "sell the farm" back when the trade deadline was coming. They sold absolutely.
You can't blame the front office here.
The only person they traded was Jordan Groshans. I love Gabby Moreno. I think he's going to be a stud come time. But who the hell? Like, if you're looking for a championship, you brought in no one.
I get that, but we're up 8-1. This is on the players. This is
players and managers. Those 2. That's it.
The offense put up 9 runs. 9 runs should win a ball game,
especially in the playoffs. What'd your defense do, though? Your defense gave up 10.
They weren't the pitching didn't get outs, and the defense I didn't see any moments really other than that Springer Bobichette, which we'll say that was just a pure desperation play. They were all just God, we got to get out of this.
That was so dumb. Like,
it was desperation. That's all it was.
Why did they not call each other off? Obviously, this is George Springer's ball. He's coming in from center field.
Yeah, it's obviously
and
Springer's,
but going backwards. He can't call that. Like, Springer should have been yelling. The thing is, I don't know if we could hear it because I didn't hear it, but I didn't hear Springer call him off.
I didn't hear anybody calling off. No, I just saw the collision. But like, you got to think too, how much desperation was in that moment. It was nothing but a desperation play. They were giving up runs. They knew the bases were loaded, and they were like, "Dear God, we got to get out of this inning with the lead still intact, or else we're in big shit. And they were just, no one was thinking. They were just desperate as hell to catch that ball. That, can I just say, was perfectly placed. Like anything like Schneider said post game, anything that went wrong could have went wrong. It was like the Islanders playoffs last year, and just
man. I don't know.
that
Like,
ball
this
couldn't
is
have been
just
placed. You're
this is
looking
just
like that ball comes 3 feet forward. That's Bobachek getting that with time. You put the ball 3 feet back, Springer's getting there with time. Like it was placed in the exact spot that was going to screw them.
I just you just I don't even know where to go, because these hearts, the Toronto fans, they just get ripped apart
Like
every
I said
single
before
year.
we started filming this, I'm not ready to film a podcast yet. I am not emotionally there. My heart is still destroyed, and gosh dang.
Well, Justin, I know where to go. And that's Hunter's Corner. Guys,
Hunter's
what's
Corner is
coming.
gonna have to cheer me up, man.
Yeah, you know what's coming. Call me cheap for getting a sponsorship from my place of work. But boys, Hunter's Corner, that's the place. Got Hunter's, got Factory, got Beer Garden, which is closed for the season. But you got John Brown's, got Hunter's at the Fox. Guys, got to get in, got to get the meal deals, got to see, well, the other baseball games on the big screens, in case you're a Mets fan or a Padres fan today. And then
I just like to say, did anyone see, like, are you done with the ad read here?
Yeah, we'll call it done.
Okay. I just want to know, did anyone see Barstool in the last 2 days, like any of their content?
About what?
Frank the Tank.
Oh, yeah.
Did anyone see him say that his father cursed the Mets? He literally
Did not see
goes,
that.
okay, it's a must watch.
I saw him trying to get into the boxing ring, and that's hilarious in and of itself.
When they were down 7-0 in game 1, he
So
said,
speak on that. Max Scherzer, what the hell?
yeah. When they were losing that bad, he said, my dad made me go to bed when they were in the World Series. I didn't get to see them win, and I haven't seen them win since. And my dad cursed the Mets, and they're never gonna win. But they won last night, so I hope they beat the Padres. I hope they beat the Padres. I hope they beat the Padres. Anyways, moving on to the next thing of disappointment. The most
Denver
disappointing
Broncos.
The most disappointing Thursday night game probably in recent history, I would say.
The first time in NFL history that 2 quarterbacks with 4+ Pro Bowl appearances each to their name didn't score a touchdown, and the game went into overtime. You're telling me Denver Broncos are used to having such good teams.
Here's the field goal. Here's the field goal.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing, man. Even after that shitty game, he still had the audacity.
Broncos country. Let's ride.
Let's ride, bro.
I'm telling you, I saw a lot of unhinged Twitter feeds about what ride he's going on. I won't repeat any of them because I think they're a bit too R-rated for this podcast.
No, there's some dark humor, man. I saw some
You're
bad
looking.
rides
Did you see?
Going on.
Just go back and look at the stadium views. Denver Broncos fans are. I might be a little biased, but in my opinion, they got some of the best fans in the league. They got a great fan base.
Worse.
They're not
really.
Great fans.
They're the most.
They're not.
They're pretty loyal. They're pretty loyal, but I am not a fan of 99.9% of the Denver Broncos fans. The only other 0.001%, that's my sister-in-law. I love you, Megan. You're a Harrison now. I love you. But any other Denver Broncos fan, including you, Taylor, go suck an egg, man. Look.
No, okay. The fact that they were just there, yes, they're loyal, but like my point I'm trying to make here is that they were leaving before overtime. Like that's how bad the game was. Is that you get overtime in the NFL, you get overtime in any league. Usually that means like great game, like people are like on the edge of their seats, heart pounding, like just ready to cheer. They were leaving before overtime even started because myself, I was sitting here watching the game. I didn't leave here in town until about 12:30 because I couldn't take myself away from the TV just because I was so astonished to see how bad the game kept getting.
Yep, that's fair.
You reached a new all-time low. Let me just
Like-
talk. I think it was Hamler, the receiver, that was just going off in the end zone.
Yeah.
He speaks
Slamming his
volumes.
helmet.
He speaks volumes. Let me say this. Football is not a game for the weak or the soft-minded or the lackadaisical quarterback. And that's Russell Wilson. He's too soft to play this game. He's too cringy. He's too corny. He's not a leader. He's a good quarterback. He has a lot of talent, but he has no right being in the name of the elite quarterbacks because of his leadership skills. You look at Peyton Manning, you look at Tom Brady, you look at any other of those elite quarterbacks. They're hard leaders who get on you. I haven't seen Russell Wilson on the sideline once get on his team. I've never seen him get into the face of one of his receivers of the O-line. And
Not
that's
Yeah,
what
no,
he
he'll
needs.
just go around
not
like clapping
only-
like this, like let's go kind of thing.
Not only that, like it's almost like he has tunnel vision just on Jerry Judy and Sutton. That's all
Yes.
he sees on the field. That's
He hit
all
his
he
tight
sees.
end quite a bit. Sauber, he likes Sauber. But that's because his receivers are covered, and it's like I either eat a sack or I give it to my tight end.
Well,
Yeah.
Hamler was wide open in the end zone.
He was
Could
waving
have
his
had the
arms.
only touchdown of the game. He was
No way.
wide open for 2 seconds. That's an eternity in
This is
terms
gonna-
of football play.
This is
It
gonna
was like
hurt.
Madden 23 or watching a Madden video game. In the video games, if your receiver's open, they get like an exclamation point above their head, and they'll start literally doing this. Hamler looked like a
Yes.
video game wide receiver, and Wilson still did not throw the ball his way.
He didn't look that way. He just
No,
No,
didn't
and like
look.
it wasn't
You
even the
wanna know
worst
why?
throw of the game.
You want to know why? You want to
Hmm.
know why? Because that was the side. This is gonna hurt. This is gonna hurt Seahawks fans. It's not gonna hurt you, Taylor. That's the side where Super Bowl 47. Was it 40? No, it was 49. 47 or 49. No, 49. Patriots versus Seahawks.
Oh, that was like
And,
47.
Was it? It was
Yeah.
one of the two. I don't remember at this point. It's so long ago in ancient history.
Anyway.
Anyway, that's the side that Russell Wilson threw the ball into Malcolm Butler's hands. In the exact same kind of play.
And that was the start of the decline for Russell Wilson. I'll be
Like I
honest, though.
said,
I'll be honest. I thought Russell Wilson was going to be the greatest quarterback in Broncos history since Peyton Manning.
yeah, it's easy. He
And-
probably still is. Drew Lock.
No, I'm kidding. But Russ is washed. And that was a bad pickup.
No, it was
Right now, it's
Super
definitely
Bowl,
looking.
Super Bowl 50 or 49. It was Super Bowl 47 was
Really?
Ravens and 49ers.
That long ago?
The Harborough brothers.
Man,
I will
We're
say
getting
right
old.
now,
we're getting
Yep.
old.
it's
We're on Super Bowl 56, so
yeah, it
Oh,
is.
really? Yeah, that's right.
Right now, it looks like the Broncos gave up way too much to get in Russell. The only thing, like, picks are
They
going to come and
signed him
go.
to
Picks always
200
come and go in life.
300 or 230 million dollars. Like, come on.
I'm not selling the farm yet. That quote can stay in the bag. I'm thinking I'm still gonna pan it off that Nathaniel Hackett's first time head coach, Russell Wilson still learning offense, getting settled in, but like this first season is just absolutely horrific so far. He's had one game where I saw actually and there was a loss. Like I said, that Raiders game. I saw him have a few good offensive moments, but the rest of the season so far has been nothing.
hmm
And Noah Fant's probably the only person in that trade package to the Seahawks that I'm gonna really miss. I like Noah Fant. He was a young tight end, and I think they had a really good future there with him. Drew Lock, you can send away. Blanking on the guy's name, defensive player,
Okay, let's just
Shelby
look at
Harris.
this. I'm pretty sure that if
Like
we
the
look
pick,
at this,
yeah, the
that,
throw he had in the
what
end
is-
zone wasn't even the worst throw of the game either. What's the
yeah,
horrible
like
part?
like the pick was terrible.
He wasn't even that
man.
pressured. Like you go back and look, there was no one within like an arm's length of him. He just decided, oh, I'm getting a little scared, and he chucked the ball up all the way to the end zone for them to pick. And then there was a few throws he tried to make to Cortland Sutton throughout the game, and the throws didn't even end in play. They were thrown out of bounds. Whether he was trying to throw it out of bounds or overthrown it, just Nothing was clicking at
If
all.
if the Broncos do not finish better than 10-7, which was their last year's record with Drew Lock, Russell Wilson should go into full protection with security. Because these
Because then
Denver
two
fans,
cities will hate him. Two cities will hate him on the West Coast.
yeah.
Yeah.
I just like I feel bad for Denver fans for some reason.
Yeah.
You lose out on Aaron Rodgers. And you get Russell Wilson, and you guys are like, yeah, Russell Wilson's just as good as Aaron Rodgers. Let's go. Woo. Yeah, that does not seem to be the case.
The age of Wilson was the only thing. Wilson's, what, 5 years younger than Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah.
But
Really-
it's just horrible.
Really quick, I want to talk about the funniest division in NFL right now, and that's the NFC East. You've got Eagles leading it, and then you've got Dallas and New York Giants tied for second right now, I think. Yeah, that's
The
right.
New York Giants are not 3-1.
They're not a true 3-1, but they are 3-1 nonetheless. They don't ask how, they ask how many. And
It's
then
a
at
lot,
the
Jimmy.
bottom, you have the Washington Commanders, which was expected, but I didn't expect that big of a gap between Washington and New York. And honestly, hilarious that Cooper Rush is leading this thing, that Giants have continued success with Saquon.
Oh my God. You got to be kidding me.
What?
Currently, as we are recording this, there's 10 seconds left in the Green Bay and New York Giants game, and the New York Giants have 27-22.
Giants up.
Giants
up.
country. Let's ride.
So
The New York Giants have scored 14 points in the fourth quarter, and the Green Bay Packers have scored 2.
that's the sign of a good football team coming back. And Giants are pretty good. If you're sleeping on a
4-1.
team and it's the New York Giants, I'd wake up.
Get your futures in. I just said they're not real. I don't think they are, but get your futures in. I bet you that's like that was like probably 10 plus 10,000 before the season started.
Oh, that had to be
Man.
crazy. If they continue this will be insane.
What? Okay, well, I just want to mention because you said about the NFC East. Is Jalen Hurts proving to everyone that he's the real deal?
So
Has
far,
he proved it? Has he proved it to you? Does he need to do any more? Because to
He's
me,
proved
he's
it to
already,
me. He proved
done.
a lot last year. A lot coming up
Mhm.
after some
Because
turmoil.
this was
I'll call it
the
turmoil.
debate. If he didn't perform this year, they were going to move on, right?
Yeah.
I don't think he has to do any more to show them I'm the guy.
No, going 4-0 to start the season against some of those opponents they faced, that's impressive. Continuing, I'm
That'll be
thinking
more impressive.
he could probably go.
Like he's
7-0.
top 5 in the MVP debate right now.
Yeah, I'm saying
Philly's a team on the upcome too. They're not even done yet. Like maybe not this year, but they keep adding, and Hurts keeps getting better.
You got young receivers, and you just added AJ Brown. You got
Quick
Devontae
little thing
Smith.
too. You'll get it with our guest coming up. We talked a little bit about it there with him. But the being mic'd up on the field. Did you guys see Devontae Smith mic'd up there during that rain game?
Yes,
That was hilarious.
He's what kind of student was it? I think he was a kinesiology student, was he not?
He was in Alabama.
Yeah, but he was a kinesiology student, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, he's like very
Cold as hell, man.
very like what's the word I'm trying to think of? He's very protective and very like worried about people's health.
yeah, he is.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's so funny to see him just like, I gotta get out of this rain. I gotta warm
Why is
up.
my hat so damn heavy?
Just like sinking down.
Just I'm cold as hell, man. Like,
And then
like,
watch him drop all those balls in warm-ups.
yeah.
Okay, so I want to go back because I said Eagles can go 7-0. What do you guys think?
The
Who's their next
Eagles can go.
opponents?
So they're facing Cardinals today. And then they're facing the Cowboys next week. Then they go against the Steelers. And that'll put them at 7 games played.
I wouldn't put it past. I wouldn't bet against that statement.
They have a bye week in between the Cowboys and Steelers. So the
Yeah, they
Steelers
do. The weeks are off, but
Steelers
games played.
guaranteed win. Steelers guaranteed win.
Steelers
like
guaranteed.
that one.
I think
I think it depends on today.
yes, it definitely depends on today. If you lose against the Cardinals, I think you might lose against Dallas. But if you win against Cardinals, Dallas is 50-50.
I don't think
When's Dak
Dallas
back?
will have. Yeah, I was just gonna say. I don't think Dallas has Dak back next week. So
Dak is going to be back.
probably the
I'd
end of
say 2.
October.
No, I'm giving him 2 weeks.
So you're
Does
saying
Cooper
next
Rush?
week?
Cooper Rush is doing really well by himself. But if you have
Mhm.
Dak fully healthy, I said this last week. If you have Dak fully healthy, you put Dak over Cooper Rush. Maybe
Yeah,
even
yeah.
some split reps. Maybe even some split
If you
reps.
have
But that's a lot. You put
if you
Dak
have
at 100%.
Dak 90%, you start Cooper Rush
Yes. You save Dak for later in the season, 100%.
because you're 3-1. Your defense is winning
Yeah.
you games. One of the best defenses in the league.
Yes.
Micah, or I think it's Micah or Mitcha, Micah or Mitcha Parsons. Mika, yes, Mika. Sorry, my bad. Mika Parsons is honestly in the MVP discussion right now. Like that guy is insane. This is only his second year in the league. Like he is.
Also, one
hands
more
down.
name that I think we got to mention before we're out of the football talk is Brian Robinson Jr., running back for Washington Commanders. Kid was shot, and he is
6 weeks
officially
ago.
active for this week.
That's a crazy
He took,
story.
what, 2 or 3 bullets?
He was 2.
He took
To the
2
leg?
bullets to the leg. And now he's playing in the NFL. Like 20 weeks later.
No, 20 weeks later. Geez, no. 6.
6? That was that
6
recent?
weeks. Yes.
He was shot. I think he was shot like week 1 or 2 of the preseason.
That's
Yes.
insane.
6 weeks ago. 6 weeks ago.
Regardless, that is insane. I knew it was sometime during training camp in the preseason, but let me tell you,
6 weeks.
going back to Dallas, CeeDee Lamb is in the discussion right now for one of the greatest this season. Call it a hot take. Call it a hot take.
He needs to step up.
He needs to step
Lamb.
up.
He needs to step. I don't know what you're talking about. One of the best in this. He needs to step up. He's doing
needs to step
okay,
up.
but he needs to step up.
I think he's having a pretty
I'm not
good season.
impressed.
I think he's having a pretty good season. I'd pick
I'm
him
not
up on
impressed.
fantasy.
I'd pick him up on fantasy, but I'm not impressed yet. Like
This is
I don't
Jody.
think he's top 5.
He
wide
has an average of
receiver.
12.5 yards per reception.
It's solid.
Okay.
That's yards after catch, son.
Okay.
Best is a big word. Best is a big word.
Yeah, you
I'll give you
can't
that.
sit there and Cooper, like, why am I forgetting his name? Cooper Kupp, and Devontae Adams, best 2 wide receivers in the NFL. You can't. Even
Who's
put
starting tonight
Easy.
for
Obviously.
Patriots?
Zap.
Zappy.
Zappy's coming back tonight.
Oh, the Z man.
Give it a little
You know
zap
what?
in the offense.
We're playing Detroit. We're fine.
No, you're not.
We're fine.
They got the best
this-
offense in the league right now.
If this turns out to be bad, you have full right to put the SpongeBob thing 5 hours later over this. I don't care
Oh, I will.
because
Because I'm
there's
I'm
no
thinking
way.
might turn out bad.
I will say this in full confidence. There is no way that we lose to the Detroit Lions. No way.
I cannot wait to see this because I'm going to put
No
it in.
way.
I'm going to do the voiceover, everything. I've been practicing my impression of the 5 hours later. But let me say this one more time. Detroit Lions are the best, worst team in football right now.
Fair.
Easy.
Fair. Sure. Great. Guess what?
All right.
Patriots are better.
Patriots are better. Yeah. Your kneecaps are about to get taken, bud.
Start looking at a wide receiver to start playing quarterback for you because
No.
Zappy's done today.
Okay. All right. Anyway, with time running down,
I got recap here this episode. Shatkins is real in Toronto, and Broncos need to figure it out.
and moving on, Grant can tell you what is happening in the rest of this episode.
Yes. So we had Daniel Nkonkomalimba. Believe I'm saying that right.
I think you are.
Yes. He's from Pensacola, Florida, born and raised. Moved to Brampton, Ontario, a bit more raised there.
So it was
in
two.
the
It was
Canadian side of
2v2.
things.
It was 2v2. First time
It
in a
was
while.
USA versus Canada. Well, border war.
Yeah.
Little split screen action. But let me tell you, this guy is one of the best cornerbacks I've seen at Holland College football in a while. He's quick, he's shifty, and he's got a lot of points from the defensive side of the ball.
He got the juice.
He got the juice. He got the heat. He got that heat. Let me tell you, I also played with him for Mariners football in my one game appearance. And he was really fun to play with. And let me tell you this, he was even more fun to interview. So I'm excited to send it over to him right about now. We're back with Daniel Nkonkomalimba of Holland College football. Daniel, thanks for coming on the show.
No worries. Thank you guys. I appreciate you guys.
Yeah. So sadly, 1-3 on the season right now. That last game counted for double points. So what's the mood going into, I guess, technically week 5 now?
Yeah, week 5. We're feeling a bit upset. I'm obviously really, really upset after that game. Just a bit held back, of course, with the Hurricane, not facing them originally at home. So we're just missing that one home game, and now we're just feeling amped up, being at home finally, trying to turn things around so we can be at home for the championship, especially.
Yeah. Who's been the biggest
opportunity.
Who's been the biggest competition this year?
Honestly, I would say Dalhousie definitely would be the biggest competition. Defensively, they have a good linebacker core. They're very fast, very flexible as well. Good depth chart with them. With that being said, we do have a good set of skill positions, especially players. Me, Kyle, Brian, Jake, and our whole defense as a whole, I would say, got to be the top in the league. So just trying to mold that all together, especially as an offense, definitely just rolling slow. There's a lot of potential that we definitely can tap into.
Yeah. So speaking of the Hurricane, let's go back to your birthplace of Florida, down there in Pensacola. So what made you go to Canada? Because you went to Brampton after Pensacola. So what was growing up in Florida like, playing football there?
Well, I didn't play much football there. My mom did move me out of Florida when I was really, really young. So I did play all my high school football and summer football in Brampton. But I did play around like different cities as well. I played most of my football in St. Roch Catholic Secondary School. And I played for Brampton Bulldogs and then Durham Dolphins. And honestly, both of those leagues there were very, very high paced, very, very competitive. And you got to play against like future recruits to a lot of these universities, and you get to face some of the coordinators for the universities as well. So it was really good football there. And then off of Durham Dolphins, my coach knows Coach Devon of Holland College. So just got that connection there. Just to continue football, especially not having the university marks just yet, and just continuing that somewhere else.
Yeah. Was there any pressure to go to an Ontario school for football, being so close?
Yeah. There's definitely a lot of pressure. But at the end of the day, I knew I would have to go through the college process and really get a degree there and really find my way. Because I didn't have university courses at the time. So just having to go through that college process, I knew I had to go through.
Yeah. So what was scouting like coming out of high school?
It wasn't that big. I only really had one school really talking to me. Only after my first season at Holland College. I would say more universities started talking to me, but at the time I was only my first year at Holland. So
Yeah.
So is it are you looking to play football after Holland College? Is this going to be your last year? I know that you're here more than 2 years, which is more than typically what the normal athlete at Holland College plays, but what's the plan afterwards?
yeah, so in my first year, I did change from kinesiology to marketing. So it was just the big jump that I wanted to do personally, and that I knew I like. At the end of the day, I didn't want to go to university for kinesiology. I just really sink myself in that regard in education, because I had no interest in kinesiology at the end of the day. So making that flip took me a few more years to stay here. But one more year, or at least 2 more years, to get my degree and get my marks to where I wanted to, is definitely my goal and where my head is. And I have the year's eligibility to, stay
Yeah.
1 or 2 more years, and then
So
transfer out.
looking at the Holland College football team as a whole right now, I know you guys are 1-3, but does it feel like, I know you lost the game to UNB 9 or 12-9. Does it feel like, other than the Dalhousie loss yesterday, you guys could be 3-1, or 2-2 technically?
Yeah, honestly, like we had really, really, really good games, and like that last game there, it was really, really tight in the second half, and offensively, like trying to pick up the pace, trying to get points up there, and that scoreboard, especially last night, was just not a true. It doesn't show our true potential, is what I'm trying to say. And honestly, yeah, you're right. There's a lot of chances that we look back and we don't want to, but we look on film, and we realize the mistakes we have. And the thing is, we're Holland College, so we always have a young group, or young mix of athletes that haven't played together. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, we're gonna have those mistakes, especially in the beginning of the season. And at the end of the day, how I look at it, especially at practice, like you want to get those mistakes and all of that out of the way in the beginning of the season, way more than playoffs or any of that. And at the end of the day, it's a 4-team playoffs. So no matter where we rank, we're gonna make the playoffs. I'm gonna face Dalhousie, we're gonna face UNB again. And that's where we're headed is at so far.
Yeah. So we'll get to the heavier stuff here later on. I want to take a bit lighter note here. So You're no stranger to the webcam. Your every other tweet in your feed is you promoting your Twitch stream.
Yeah.
So in the preseason, we all know the big headline was Kyler Murray's Call of Duty clause in his contract that he had to study so much film. Is there something with Holland College where they're like, hey, Daniel, you got to tone down on the Twitch. Let's focus on the weight room. Let's focus on the film room.
No, honestly, like they never really like brought it up to me. For the most part, it's like the social media stuff. It's like, you can work out, you don't have to post it on social media type thing. You know what I mean? It's a fair point. It's a fair point. You know what I mean? That the work you do, off camera or when they're not looking it's the most important. But
yeah. Now I also go ahead.
For the most part, the content there and like even streaming on Twitch is just for everyone else. Like it's less for me, especially being away from home. Like I just like having fun, especially playing games. It's a why not moment. Especially get a few friends, a few family members on there and just enjoy some time.
Oh yeah. Now, speaking of filming some workouts, you had a irritated nerve in your lower back, right?
I did. How do you know about that?
I do my research. I do my research. Now, for most people, that would mean about 2 to 4 weeks of bed rest and then start letting that nerve heal up. But you got in the weight room and started squatting 245.
How'd you know that? Wait, I don't honestly remember the exact timeline of that. Do you want to?
I don't know the timeline either because it was on Twitter that I saw just coming up an irritated nerve and you're squatting 245 on the box squat.
Okay, now I remember. Yeah.
Yeah. So what went through your head? Like, oh man, this nerve's bothering me. I need to throw heavy weight on my back and start bend it down. Like, what was the thought process?
Honestly, there's no thought process there. Like there wasn't no thought process, just not a good decision there. But was for me, like injuries, I've always been like so stubborn and ignorant. I'm just like, nah, I don't care. Like if I'm going through it, I just have to go through it to the fullest extent. Got to keep going through it.
You're no stranger to injury either. You had
No.
hand surgery after you came down on your arm a bit off at All-Star game here a couple years ago now, and had a screw put in, didn't you?
Yeah, I in Ontario, like the doctors told me you need to get surgery ASAP. And honestly, at the time, my head wasn't really at like seeing a doctor or surgery, especially being out for so long. And I already finished the season too, so I was just like, what's another season to it? And especially going to Holland College and Kane's physiotherapy, they do a great job, especially nurturing that. And they told me straight up, like, you have to sit out week 1. You have to get your strength up. You have to get your flexibility up, and see where you can from there. And they definitely did and saved me that season. They did a great job.
You did put on a lot of weight in muscle terms on going from your first season to currently. I think it's what you started at 175, and what do you weigh now?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still at 175 now. I was like, at most after surgery, I was 195, and then I went down to 185. And then like during Mariners season, I started bumping down, and then this season, I'm trying to still maintain up to 170. So
yes. So let's talk about Mariners now, because we covered a bit of the Mariners here this last spring, start of that season. And one of the things we heard was watch out for Daniel, because he's making headlines.
Okay.
So senior ball or Holland College ball? Which one's more fun?
Honestly, that's a good question.
Because there's less pressure in senior Mets.
That's true.
It's more like have fun, I would say. And just go out there, and some old guys just want to get out there and throw the pads on once a week. And
wasn't
like
the
seeing your coach,
player?
Coach like go out there and laying hits and then trucking kids. Oh man, like honestly, I gotta say, nah, it's definitely senior ball.
Yeah,
like, you'll never see that.
Yeah, the coach wears Warren Sapp's number 99 number too, and he comes through that offensive line with some speed, and that's impressive for a man with gray hair.
Oh yeah.
Isn't he bald?
Yeah,
he's bald. He's got some gray in the beard, though.
Fella.
He's got some gray in the beard.
Okay.
Michael Joseph Martin Miller, the man with 4 first names.
Legendary.
Oh yeah, a goat. Anyway, so let's get to some of the heavier stuff, because this last February you took part in a panel discussion about racism in sports.
100%.
So coming from Florida, I mean, I know you left there at a very young age, but not to mention the southern United States. And then you come to Canada, and then the east coast of Canada, which in its own regards has its own issues that we won't get into here. But what through all of that really stuck out in your mind, and what did you find yourself talking about most on that panel?
Honestly, going to that panel, I really wanted to, open my mind to more perspectives just on racism as a whole, and just in sports in general too. Not only do I have like my own experiences, but like other people do too. So for me to, sit there and just say, I had this experience or that experience, I would feel like it's wrong for me or wrong for, everyone else that is even here, even experiencing it. So just sitting there and listening to everyone else really talk about it, and really dive into their own experiences was just my goal, and really my output for that. And honestly, I learned a lot, more than I really really thought going into it.
Now, would you say, or can you elaborate to the fact, have you ever experienced anything like this at Holland College during playing in the ACAA?
Honestly, like I would say like fair share playing on the field, of course. It happens from player to player.
You always hear chirping and everything.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
chirping's a part of the game, but
at
like,
the end
has
of the
there
day,
ever
like
been any
Moment that
form of
went too far.
racism? Yeah.
honestly, yeah, there's been like a few instances, none that I could really speak too much on. But yeah, I would say yeah, there's definitely been some experiences that been gone too far. And just in that regard, everything has been, supported for me the right
Mhm.
way. And I feel, set in the right direction after that experience.
Mhm.
So, there's no hard feelings.
Were there any experiences that did stick out, whether they were your own or from others at the panel that you care to share?
Um, Honestly, it was quite a while. Um, and I had to read back on it or watch the VOD. And really touch back on some of the stories to tell them to to its fullest, so I don't butcher them at all.
Yeah.
Um,
What
but
about your own
there's
experience?
quite a few athletes. There's quite a few athletes there that did speak upon their experiences.
And
What
were
about
these
your own
all?
Go ahead, Justin.
I was just gonna say, were these all Eastern Canadian or Atlantic Canadian players or athletes, or was it all across the country or North America as well?
It was mostly like Holland College athletes and then UPI athletes. Is that what you mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So, were there any of your own experiences that you care to share?
Um,
If not, that's okay.
yeah. Honestly, there's not much that I would like to share.
Yeah, that's completely understandable. So, we got the hard stuff out of the way. Let's talk about the light stuff now. So, last year we had Steven Sears on. He's hilarious.
Searsy.
Yeah.
He starred in a movie. He was a part-time journalist for the Waterboys. Did a couple of interviews with us.
He was what else did he do? TV show.
Yeah, he did a TV show back in the Bahamas.
And he also played a musical instrument.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did the keyboard, the guitar. Now, you're no stranger to making your own hype videos either, is that right?
No, I do a bit of like editing here and there, especially for a few athletes and a few teams.
Yeah, what teams and athletes?
I did one for Christian Desro. You had him on.
Yeah.
Tyler Newson. I had one for Ontario Pure Region Panthers. Coal Lake Fighter Jets, who just won the national championships. So shout out to them. Also, let's see. I did quite a few. I did one for Ryan Ramos. He's over at Laurier University as well. Malcolm Shirley, one of my good friends. Quite a few especially during COVID. Just had a lot of time. So I reached out to a lot of people and said, hey, like, I can do what I can with Adobe here.
Yeah. So you think sports journalism is in your future? Or?
I don't know. Honestly, like I like being on the field. I like being on the field and especially being like a part of the players. Coaching is like one of my like long goals, or like even volunteering and coaching. I always love it, or jump to the chance when I get it.
Gotta start getting mic'd up here for some of these games.
Oh yeah,
of course.
We'll get the mic on your pads there. So would you be
man,
happy with?
That'd be dangerous.
That'd be dangerous. Big trash talker.
Oh man, yeah. This season, every season I try to keep it cool, but like coming from Florida and then coming from Brampton, like you get that bad mix, and then you come to the East Coast and they just don't like you. So
wouldn't-
it's just
I
People
wouldn't
are
call
used
it
to
a
hearing you
bad
say
mix.
sorry after you get hit.
Yeah.
no.
I wouldn't call it a bad mix. You know, we got that grit. That
Oh,
grit.
yeah.
That's
Oh,
what
yeah.
you need.
Oh, yeah.
Can't make a nice project without some sandpaper, huh?
No.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite trip you've given? Does one stick out in your mind?
Nah. There's not like it's just in the moments, I think.
In the moment?
I'm
Really
mostly
good
just
your
I'm
mama
mostly
jokes
just
or anything.
honestly I don't bring it like personal. I just like talk about them as a whole and them playing. Like I just call them trash. I call it how it is. Like a lot of people like, you know, they'll take the cheap shots and they do it. A lot of teams are out here like they're chippy, but like they'll try to take their cheap shots. I'm like, oh, so you try to put me on the ground? Like that was soft. That was soft, bro. Like you probably weigh like 40 pounds more than me. Like come on now. Like
Do you have a mic'd up inspiration in the NFL?
of course.
Who's that?
I would say honestly, my favorite player, Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah, that's pretty
So-
clear.
Okay, so I was just about to ask, you are a cornerback for the Holland College Hurricanes.
Mhm.
And so your inspiration is obviously Jalen Ramsey. Now, do you think he's the best corner in the league right now?
Definitely, most definitely.
No.
Oh,
No.
Where do you think-
Most
no,
definitely.
I'm with Daniel on this one. I'm with Daniel
no.
on this one.
You can't.
Jalen
You
Ramsey,
can't.
elite.
You can't. You
Supreme.
can't. You can't. Let him get into his film. Let him get into his film. You know what I mean? I mean, Stephon Gilmore, he's doing his thing. You know, he's doing his thing right now. I will say he's kind of old, but Jalen Ramsey, you know, he'll get into his film. He's on a really good team. You can't deny that too.
Yeah, I don't disagree that he's on a good team.
Who's
but
your guy? Who's your guy though?
I mean, I used to be a Gilmore fan, obviously Patriots fan, and when he was on the Patriots, he was obviously the clear cut number one corner in the league. But right now, I kind of like the guy out of Green Bay, Jar Alexander.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So,
He's one of the best in the league right now. And that kid, that rookie from Denver, even though Denver's an absolute horror show
Patrick
right
Surtain
now.
the second.
Yeah,
He's not a rook, second year.
I'm pretty sure they drafted.
Nah, because we drafted him with the 9th overall pick, and we didn't have any picks in the first or second round because of the Wilson trade this year.
There you go.
And you could throw Marshawn Lattimore up there too, but above it all,
Honestly, I will say underrated one, Xavier Howard.
that's a good
Yeah.
pick. That's a good underrated pick.
He with Detroit.
That's a number 2.
No,
Miami.
Miami.
Jalen Ramsey though, right here, number 1.
I don't know. I don't know
Yeah.
about that.
Well, considering
I
KC
can't-
lost any cornerback they had, you have to have him as number 1.
Yeah, I'm not down that. We lost Mr. Rent is due.
Yeah.
Anyway, so who growing up really stuck out in your mind for inspiration? The NFL?
For inspiration, honestly, like Cam Chancellor at like Seattle defense, LOB, Richard
Legion
Sherman.
of Boom.
Oh man,
Legion
like,
of
that
Boom was insane.
crazy,
Yes.
crazy seasons that they had.
Yeah.
And Cam Chancellor as a whole, like just a freak athlete. Like I don't think anyone that big should be playing safety. Like that's just an issue as a whole.
Would you
Mhm.
say,
Holland College inspirations?
Oh yeah.
like Taylor said, is there any Holland College inspirations? Any vets when you were rookies?
Honestly, Jay Dearborn, like another freak athlete, a guy that's like super tall, that you know shouldn't be really like running that fast. Like it's just it blows my mind. Like an Olympic athlete at that too, doing bobsleigh too. Like it's just you look at that and you get inspired and you're like, you know, you can do more than just play football. You can, you know, reach yourself out there if you got the talent, you got the speed. And for him, like he's just a freak.
He's with Edmonton now in the CFL, isn't he?
Is it?
Yeah, that's right. So we'll need to get him on, see if you were an inspiration to him. All right. So go ahead, Justin.
No. Okay. So I want to take it back a little bit here. Just to kind of preview the rest of your guys' season. What do you guys think the most important thing is to improve upon right now? I know you said like it's a mix of young and old or vets for offense, but is it the offensive side of the ball? Because you guys only put up 1 point yesterday, which is a little bit concerning.
Yeah. So yeah, it's definitely the offense side of the ball. I did play corner last year, so I just changed to playing receiver this year, especially with how many guys there is on defense. Just putting myself out there, and just sharpening that up too. I won't say we have the most offensive players as well, which is it's hard, especially when you try to get a short amount of guys in, and especially into practice and dialed into week, dealing with those challenges throughout the week. But definitely offensive side of the ball, try to figure out what we have to do, how to get the ball rolling. Here and there, we have good drives. We got into the red zone quite a few times, but it's really just breaking it through. It's really
finishing the job.
Yeah.
Sounds like the Broncos.
Yeah.
All right. So we're at the 10-minute warning now. I'd love to get into a bit more of next season, but for right now, we've got the lightning round. 5 questions. They start easy, get a bit harder. They are the easiest questions of the episode. Don't you worry, nothing to sweat about. But starting off here, I know you go to both. So Atlantic Fitness Center or Holland College High Performance Gym?
HBC.
HBC?
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good.
Why?
I would say turf, slide, and then they pretty much have everything you need. They're just not the equipment. So if you just want to have an athletic workout, which for the most part, that's what I like to do, just HBC. Plus, for the most part, student is free. So
yeah, work a bit more of the, plyometrics there and get more of that speed. Yeah,
exactly.
All right. So I know you're a special teams guy as well. So pick 6 or kickoff return for that TD?
Pick 6.
Not taking it to the house. Not choosing taking it to the house.
Well, your pick 6, you're taking it to the house too. I don't know what.
Well, yes, but
I like defensively, especially growing or playing football or starting to play football in the beginning as a defensive player. And now, honestly, at this point in my career, in the beginning, if you asked me in high school if I would ever be playing kickoff return, I'll probably be like, I don't know about that one. I don't want to be getting ran at by 12 people. But now it's just I do it for fun. It's fun. But with that being said, that pick 6 is just something different. Being able to read off an offense, grab it, take it the other way to the house. I feel honestly, kick return is kind of easy, to be honest. Kick return is kind of easy.
As a
bit more flex
cornerback,
to it.
Yeah.
As a cornerback, I feel like that's kind of the goal.
Yeah.
You
dream.
always dream about getting your first pick 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So you had a hurricane hit both of your, I want to say hometowns,
Yeah.
So Hurricane Ian or Hurricane Fiona?
Honestly, Hurricane Fiona. Honestly,
yeah.
Yeah.
I see you got power back now. You're doing good.
Yeah, the island, for the most part, people will have their own opinions, but the island did pretty good. For a small little island, I'm surprised.
Yeah,
I'll say that.
I'm surprised we're not wearing
I'm
big
electric. That
rainbows.
needs to get fixed up.
It's Eastlink. It's Eastlink that does. It's Eastlink.
Yeah. So I don't want to put Jalen Ramsey in terms of primetime Deion Sanders. I think that's that's a little under. Yeah. That's a little lopsided. So Charles Woodson or Jalen Ramsey?
Charles Woodson.
Okay, that's fair.
You
Yeah.
can't even put Jalen Ramsey in that conversation.
I think Charles Woodson is way more fair than primetime.
You can't even put.
If
you
you
can't
did
even
say
put,
prime time, I would say prime time all day.
You can't
Exactly.
even put
It's a-
Jalen Ramsey in the
It's
in
a
the
bit more
Revis
debate with
conference.
Woodson. In the who?
You can put Darrell or
Darrell?
Darrell Reeves. Yeah, I think that's who it is. You can't like they used to call him Reeves Island because like you couldn't get the ball past him. Like that's more of a debate.
He did lock down some top receivers. I'll give him that. He
Yeah,
was
like Randy Moss
yeah.
Moss.
and yeah, like I mean, I don't know. Jalen Ramsey is good, but he's not.
He got
in
time.
that
He got
debate.
time. He got time.
It's early in his career. That's all I'm saying. That's why I said it. Woodson's done.
He's got-
Woodson's long gone. Jalen Ramsey's got a few more years, and he's still
Okay.
doing great things.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So you have two part-time hobbies. You have stock trading and Twitch streaming. Which one are you going with?
Twitch streaming. Honestly, like I stopped trading a few years ago, and like started taking on a bunch of jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What drew you away from stock trading?
Honestly, like the consistency of it, and then like it's not like for me, it wasn't something to live off of, obviously. So
You don't get as many fans from that as you do Twitch streaming.
no.
All right. So finally here, lightning round's over. We got that out of the way. Thank you for participating. So we've had Christian Giroux and Steven Sears on from Holland College football. Both of them gave some good quotes. Christian Giroux, I think, wins with, if you're going to run with the big dogs, you can't piss like a puppy. Greatest quote I've ever heard. What a football guy. So going into the rest of 2022 football season here, give us a quote. Give us a headline. Give us something to go by.
No pressure.
For Holland College.
I have if I think a couple. Let me just think of one.
You do have some good motivational quotes on your Twitter feed.
I do.
If it's not your Twitch stream, it's, something motivational.
Let me think about it. Let me think about a good one too.
Okay. Give you time.
Oh yeah. I always say this. Yeah, I always say this. So it's not about what you go through. It's always about, how you get through those moments. And it's not really about dwelling on it or really sitting on it. You always have to move forward. You can't look at the past and just not learn from it or not, move forward, because time moves forward just as you do. So
I like it. Move forward
I
on
like
college
it.
football
Yep.
2022. Round of applause there. All right.
Well, we wish you the best of luck with the rest of the season.
Well, one more question before we get finished here. I've
Yeah.
seen it a few times running through your camera angle there. What's your cat's name?
Basil.
Basil.
Basil. Just the one cat?
Just one cat. I want to get another.
Okay.
Soon.
I see the cat playground over your right
Yeah.
shoulder there. Yeah.
You treat them well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Spoiled.
Justin, you want to tell us where to find them?
So you can find us on obviously YouTube because that's probably where you're going to be watching this. And you can check out recent episodes such as Kieran Gallant, who is wearing the C still, I'm pretty sure. Did he wear the C last night?
He had it on last night, but I talked to Jim and it's not official yet. But
Okay.
couldn't think of a
Well,
better guy.
So you can check out recent episodes like that on here. We also have Instagram, official Waterboyz podcast, a Waterboyz _media. You have the Twitter feed and you have Facebook. Now, I just have to send this over to Grant to do one thing, and that is get you guys out of here.
Got the boom box.
Hey.
We'll see you next time.